Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today I have a really fun video for you. I'm doing my full face of makeup using only drugstore products. So if you want to see how I achieved this look and what are the products that I used to complete it, then just keep watching. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the eyes. I will look down in a mirror. I hope I will not get out of focus. So, I will prime my lids with this Milani eyeshadow primer. While we let that primer to set, I'm gonna use tape. I've started recently to use tape while I'm doing my eye makeup, and I'm really loving this technique. Now I will set a bit the primer with the Wet n Wild single shadow in Brulee, and I'm using a brush from one of our local drugstores, which is called Rossmann. It's written with double S, Rossmann. And this is the drugstore that I was mentioning in my previous videos, that once a year they have this huge sale where for 1 week they are selling all the makeup products for the half price. You need to buy at least two products to benefit this discount, and maximum 5 products. But I don't mind going shopping several times. You cannot buy online, this is only in a store. And during this sale I was able to discover a lot of drugstore goodies, like I bought my... I need to pick up this phone. Okay, where were we? I have few palettes that I want to try on camera. First, it is this Wet n Wild Comfort Zone eyeshadow palette that I bought last year, and I haven't used it on camera yet. Actually, I filmed a tutorial with it, but that video never came up. And then I have those two L'Oreal La Palette. This is the L'Oreal La Palette Ombre, and the second one, it is La Palette Glam. And look how bright shades we have here. So I think I will mix a bit the shades. I'm gonna take the Ebelin blending brush. First I'm gonna take the third shade from the La Palette Ombre. I will make it like transition shade. One thing I remember about those shades, it is the fact that they are not so pigmented. So we will need to work. Okay, this is barely not visible, so I'm gonna take the shade Transition from the Wet n Wild palette, the lightest transition shade from the Wet n Wild. Yeah, here we go. Now we have some payout. Next I'll take another Ebelin brush. This is the double-ended, so you have the flat side and the blender side, but the blender is smaller. And I'm gonna take the shade Transition from the Wet n Wild, but the one darker, and I'll run that through my crease. And coming a bit down to my outer V. This brush is a bit flimsy, doesn't have so much control. And if you see that I'm a bit tan, this is because I used the self-tanner product on my skin. What I'm gonna use on my lid? This is the question. Yes, we are going for yellow. Okay, so I'm taking the yellow shadow from the La Palette Ombre, which is also not that pigmented. Come on. I don't have a drugstore setting spray, but I have this one from Mario Badescu, which is not that expensive, so we're gonna use that to wash our brush. Okay, I'm still using the Freedom brush. Yes, I don't think so that we are going to get something, even if I'm wetting the brush. So those palettes are really bad. They released those palettes on the same years when they released the La Palette Nude 1 and La Palette Nude 2. However, I think not all the palettes were released in the United States. So I bought the La Palette Glam from Spain, and the La Palette Ombre I bought on Czech Republic. But I haven't heard people from US speaking about those palettes, so I believe they were only for Europe. However, you can see that I haven't used them so much, so this is speaking from itself. I'm gonna take a Real Techniques brush and I'm gonna take the teal shade from the La Palette Glam. No, this is also not pigmented. Okay, let's switch back to Wet n Wild. I will take the teal shade from the Wet n Wild. Ooh. I think I loaded up the brush too much, and now I'm getting a fallout because I got used with the L'Oreal shadows. So yeah, the Wet n Wild palette is no joke. Okay, for my inner corner I have this Revlon Photo Ready eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna take the lightest shade to highlight my inner corner. Ooh, this is purple. Has some purple shift to it. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, for my liner I have this Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner Plus Serum in brown, and the IQ Cosmetics eyeliner in shade brown that I bought from Austrian drugstore called Pipa. So I will try first the Physicians Formula. Yeah, it's not that pigmented. Okay, I will try to reinforce the color a bit using the IQ Cosmetics liner. This has the felt tip applicator, whilst the Physicians Formula has a brush. Now my favorite part is to peel off the tape. It's not that bad. And by the way, today I'm filming in my daughter's room. So if you see some changes on the background, this is because here I have more natural light. Before I apply the mascara, I want to try this e.l.f. cooling stuff that I show you in my iHerb haul. So I want to see if this is doing something. Ooh. And also I will prepare the eye area for the actual concealer. Even though in the morning I used it in eye cream, this sensation is really nice. Moving to primer. You remember maybe the review that I had for the Catrice HD Active Performance Primer with SPF 30. So we are going to use this today. So this primer, it is sweatproof and waterproof. I have another primer that I want to use, and this is by Catrice as well. Is the Poreless Blur Primer. So I will use that on the area where I have the larger pores. So lately I've been enjoying to do my eyes first, and after that to do my foundation. because I'm using the tape technique. That's the reason. And by the way, at the end I will blend a bit to not have the harsh lines, but just I need to add the foundation and concealer before I soften up the edges of my eyeshadow. The primer is set. For my foundation, I'm gonna use my L'Oreal Infallible Longwear Shaping Stick. And I have it in the shade is 160 and is Sable. This is also a bit darker, but I bought it especially for the summer. So I remember I was enjoying this stick really much. Spritz it a bit with the Mario Badescu setting spray. It's not that I want to repeat the performance that I was doing on my previous video, where I show you how to keep your foundation in place all day. And by the way, if you haven't seen that video, I will link it here up on the card, because I've discovered a way how to make your foundation last all day. I don't know guys, this is also happening to you. I'm using products, I put them around me and then I cannot find them. So I don't know where is my foundation. So I really love this foundation. It's really creamy and it blends really nice in your skin. It doesn't sit on the top of your skin. It's similar with the Lancome one. And maybe they are similar because Lancome and L'Oreal, they are under the same umbrella. Now we will do a bit of cream contour, and I will use also a L'Oreal product called Indetectable Sculpt contouring palette. Anyway, the texture of this product is somewhere between cream and powder. It's an interesting formula. And of course I will use the lightest shade to highlight my nose. So look how pretty it is when you blend it with the sponge. Yeah, really pretty. I love L'Oreal products. For my concealer, I will use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in shade Light Ivory, which I'm trying to pan. I have it in a project pan for 2019. I'm not such a big fan of this product, to be honest, because it is creasing on me after a few hours. But I said to give it a break to the Catrice one, because I'm using it constantly on my videos. For my setting powder, I'm gonna use the Maybelline Masterfix Setting and Perfecting Loose Powder. It's not exactly as good as the bitery one it is. For my under eye area. So I don't know how long this concealer will last on me. I think I'm gonna use a sponge. I do not bake on my under eye area. I'm looking 10 years younger. I know that on camera looks that I have a white cast here, but I swear that is not like that. You can tell now because it's focusing. Ooh, I love it! For my rest of the face, I'm gonna use the Physicians Formula to set the foundation. So this is the Physicians Formula Mineral Wear Talc Free Translucent Setting Powder, and it has SPF 16. So today I'm loaded with SPF. I have my normal SPF product, which is by the way by Neutrogena. Then I have the primer that contains SPF 30, and now the setting powder, also SPF. No flash photos today. And by the way, this is the e.l.f. pointed powder brush, the one that I'm using it to set my face. Yeah, there we go. Now I will do the lower line. Brows. For brows I will use the P2 brow gel. I'm using the P2 brow setting gel to set my brows in place. Ooh. My brows are really dark. Okay, the brows are intense, but I think at the end it will come everything together. Now I'm gonna use the bronzer, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and that's the reason that I added the L'Oreal one, because this is not so strong. It's lighter on me, and especially now that I'm using a darker foundation, this won't be so much visible, but it will still give me a nice shape, a nice shadow on my cheekbones. I wish I would have bought it in a darker shade. For my blush, I will use the Catrice Defining Blush in shade 090 Mandy Rain. I love this blush. My battery is flashing. Ooh, I have only 5 minutes left. Okay, so I'm gonna use this Morphe highlighter. I don't know if Morphe is considered a drugstore brand, but the prices are a drugstore one, so we will make this compromise. For my mascara, I'm gonna use this Essence You Better Work Volume and Curl Mascara, gym proof and waterproof. It's quite good mascara, but it's already starting to dry. Okay, my battery just died, so I need to come closer to the actual charging station. We have left lips, and for lip liner I'm gonna use this Essence liner in number 11. And I remember a few years ago everybody and their mother were raving about this liner, and look how much I have left. Maybe I should have included in my project pen. And by the way, I bought a backup, but they changed the formula. First, the packaging is different, the cap is different, and the formula is not the same. It's more stiff, more difficult to work with. Okay, and for my lips, I have something which I haven't ever speak about on my channel. So I have this L'Oreal Color Riche La Palette in shade nude, and look how beautiful nude lip shades you have here. I'm not such a big fan of lip palettes, and I don't remember which was the shade that I liked most, but I think I will try to mix the second and the third one. So I think this palette is really good for travel, because you don't need to take so many bulky lipsticks with you, and you can benefit having 6 colors, 6 nude colors with you on the go. I don't know why I'm not using it. Actually, I know, because it was somewhere in the back of my drawers, but recently I've changed my Alex drawer. I bought a taller one, so I reorganized a bit my collection, and from this reason I discovered some of the products that I almost forgot about them. Okay, so this is my final face using only drugstore products. I really like how it turned out. Even I had some problems with my eyeshadows in the beginning. In the end, it turned out really pretty. Okay, so thank you really much for taking the time to watch. I hope you enjoyed my video and you'll come back for more videos like this. I would like to thank you in advance for subscribing to my channel. Also, don't forget to follow me on my social, that I will put it here on the screen. And also I will add other videos that I will recommend you to check up. And other than that, I will see you on my next video. Stay tuned. Bye bye!